So thank you for hanging in there. This is the last session of the day. There's the sum up session with me after this, but this is the last training of the day from our speakers, and I want to welcome to the stage Arthie Moore. Now, Arthie is an international speaker. She is very well known, certainly across Africa. She lives in South Africa, and she is regularly speaking on leadership topics throughout that continent. And I'm so delighted she said she would come on our program. It's been such a joy to have her. There is one thing about Arthie that you will notice. She's very calm, but she is unstoppable. She is relentless in what is possible in the human condition. She runs a couple of training companies, the international training companies. One is Celebrating Humanity International and Key Leadership Institute. She is an international speaker. She speaks right across the world, and I'm so delighted she took time out to be here with us, for this conversation. So this is 1 hour of gold from Arthie, and they're going to be covering 5 points. 5 aspects of leadership and development, and it's very, very worthwhile. Get yourself a pen and paper, because what Arthie is about to deliver to you is going to be absolutely priceless. So thank you so much, Arthie Moore, for gracing me with your presence, because I thoroughly enjoy listening to you, and I hope you get to enjoy her too.
Good morning, amazing people. I am Arthie Moore, and coming straight from South Africa to you on the Living Beyond Change conference and summit. And I thought it would be absolutely amazing to do this outside, because there's something really refreshing about change and where we're heading in life. So I want to welcome you and thank you for being on this platform. And welcome to Paul Harvey's amazing, incredible idea to bring positivity to everybody during a time where everybody's under stress. And the topic I'll be talking about is money and mindset. But one of the things that I decided to do is create an unusual take on it. So I want to start off with something that is very valuable and invaluable to me. It is very personal. It is part of a journey of discovery that I have taken for myself. And it's about finding out how we can become compassionate leaders of influence in our own personal lives. And a lot of people will ask, what has that got to do with money and mindset? And I feel that it is very specific to our personal growth, our behavior, our attitude, all of the things that we demand from ourselves, where we're heading in life, and all the things that we truly deserve. So I know that there are 6 areas that I've decided to talk about on this talk. And I'll just go through quickly what the topics were. It was having an unstoppable attitude was number 1. Number 2 was adversity is part of our human experience. Number 3 was progress equals happiness, the difference between continuous improvement versus progress. Number 4 was, who are you? Number 5, what has conditioned your thinking? And number 6, raise your standards. And as a bonus, I've decided to just weave in a little bit of compassionate leader of influence and how it can add value to your life. So welcome once again to Living Beyond the Change, knowing that as you sit on this platform, you are engaging and encouraging yourself to embark on your own journey of self-discovery. So I welcome you, and I start off with absolute gratitude for you joining me and say thank you in advance. It's always amazing to have an incredible audience like you on board. So to start off, what I thought would be really amazing is to just read out a small excerpt from something that I wrote about compassion. And I feel that when it comes to money and mindset, we need to be very thoughtful and very gentle with ourselves. So I thought compassion would be an excellent way to start off with. So something that I've been writing about in my book is compassionate people live a life of intention. And that is going to be very relevant to a lot of the things that I'm going to talk about in this next hour. They intentionally seek to use integrity in every aspect of their own lives in order to stay true and respectful to themselves first. This allows them to inspire and impact others by standing up for their values, principles, and beliefs. Caring for people without judgment is sometimes a difficult thing to do. When we look at the way we are wired as human beings, we have been ingrained and indoctrinated with prejudices, wants, needs, expectations, pain, hurts, traumas, self-pity, lust, anger, sadness, love, joy, and a whole plethora of emotions, beliefs, and programs that subconsciously guide our conscious behaviors, which allows me to then go into the first part of my topic, because I felt that was very relevant, because I'm talking about having an unstoppable attitude. And what does that have to do with money and mindset? And I feel that it has everything to do with it. Right now, we are being bombarded with information. There are so many, there's so much going on in terms of people's fears, their wants, their needs, anger. I think it's just so much. I mean, it's as simple as that. It's overwhelming for a lot of people, and for the go-getters and the extroverts, this is an exciting time for them, because they are now relearning, they're unlearning, relearning all of the things that they've done before. They're letting go of entire things, but with confidence. For the majority of us who are uncertain and don't know what to do next, where we're going to be, where our next income is going to be, and this is important, this is huge. An unstoppable attitude has got everything to do with mindset, which allows us then to impact our belief systems of what we deserve in terms of money and lifestyle. Now, when I talk about anything, I always talk about the difference between having a life and having a lifestyle. Massive difference. So what I'm going to do is just talk a little bit about something I heard Anthony Robbins say, actually. He says, you don't get what you want, you get what you are, in spite of setbacks and limitations, your circumstances and current situations. Now, I thought about that, and I thought that was really, really intriguing. You don't get what you want, you get what you are, which means that when we get what we are, it has everything to do with our mindset and our beliefs about ourselves, because we embody everything that our belief system feels that we can have, we can achieve, what we can entice into our lives in terms of personal growth, our wealth, everything that we deserve. So if we're saying you don't get what you want, I could sit here and write a whole list of I want the latest cell phone, I want the latest laptop, I want the latest car, I want a helicopter, I want a big house. So what I want is totally different to get what you get what you are. So that means I get what I am. So if I believe that I deserve, then that's going to mindset. It's going to my conscious belief systems. It means that I've got to be confident. It means that I've got to do the work. And there's actions attached to the thoughts. So the simplicity of it, I don't just have to think about I want something and then decide, oh, I'm going to get it. I've got to do the work for it. So an unstoppable attitude means that I've got to be determined as a person, and I've got to put into place a set of goals. I need to put into place a structure. I need to be strategic. I need to be intentional in my daily activities and every single thing that I do, the people I surround myself with. And then I need to be more specific about what I want and how I'm going to achieve it. So that unstoppable attitude means that I've got to have innovative thinking. I've got to think out the box. How many people out there want stuff compared to how many people achieve what they want? Now, there's a massive difference. So when we look at how we develop a winning attitude, I thought about it. The simplicity of it is this. It's the difference between responding and reacting. Right now, most people are reacting to circumstances. They're reacting to what they're hearing, what is going on with the world, everything that is going to destroy their inner peace. And they're latching onto that, and self-pity, self-doubt, and survival mode is now kicking in, which means it's killing that winning attitude of a success mentality. Now, how can you succeed in a world where you've decided that the whole world is against you and that you have no opportunity? That does not make sense, which means that we've got to upgrade our self-confidence. That is another intriguing part of creating an amazing, unstoppable attitude. That is, you need to build your self-confidence. know who you are and where you're heading, write down exactly what you want, and then develop who you are to make sure that you are physically, emotionally, and psychologically ready for what you're about to achieve. But also understand this. Wanting something and doing the work for it is two different things. So words and actions always need to match. We always say that in relationships, don't we? So your words and actions need to match. Well, it's the same thing for you. In terms of your attitude, you get to choose. When you respond, what you're doing is you're taking a step back. You're looking at the current situation. You are addressing what the reality of it is. And then you work out, what can you do differently to everybody else? What can you do differently to everybody else? And that means that you need to understand the depth of who you are and what you bring to the table. So embracing your values and strengthening it makes a massive difference to creating an amazing, unstoppable attitude, which leads me into point number 2. And point number 2 is adversity is part of our human experience. Now, this is the saddest part, is a lot of us are so embroiled in things and happenings and doings and what people say that we have forgotten that adversity is part of the human experience. It's not like all of this was done to personally destroy us. No, this is happening to an entire world. We're in the middle of something affecting an entire world, not just you personally. Now, if you take a step back and see that everybody's in the same boat, you can now realize that you've got an opportunity to do something different and embrace it. So a lot of people look at their past experiences and what they lost. So if you look at people who've been hurting and there's pain and there's suffering and there's self-doubt, we then program ourselves to believe that we don't deserve based on our past experiences. So if that means that if you lost money before in a business transaction, does that mean that every single transaction is a loss? Does it mean that you tread more carefully into the next transaction or business relationship? Or you adjust the way you structure your relationship with the people in that business environment to make sure that interaction works in your favor? You see, a lot of people don't take the time to understand the lesson behind what happened. What they do is they take it into themselves and they personalize it and they say, well, maybe I wasn't good enough. Maybe it's me. That is why this did not happen. Maybe that is why I failed in this meeting. Maybe this is why I was not successful in the presentation. And it's always self-doubt. Excuse me. So the key to successful mindset is to change your perspective and seek the lesson. And when you change your perspective, it means that you choose to embrace and listen carefully to what was not said. Whilst you are hurting in that broken relationship, in the people that left you, in the people that hurt you, in the things that did not succeed before, think about it from a different perspective. What was the lesson that you needed to learn? Do you need to trust differently? Not limit your trust differently. Because I know people who I would not trust a lot when it comes to money. So it's not I don't trust them. I look at their actions. I trust the human being. I just decided to trust them differently and create boundaries that made sense for me. So in those boundaries, I changed the perspective. I can still enjoy a relationship with the person, but when it comes to money issues, I can step back and say that this is one area in our lives that we will not interact with. In that way, I have taken a choice and I've made the decision of how that relationship would unfold. If I know that money issues was the very reason that it was destroying the relationship. See, I personally believe that you don't throw people away. You never throw people away. All you do is you make choices and decisions of who you will allow into your life. And the people that were part of your journey, you take a step back and say, okay, thank you for the lesson. I'm grateful. Gratitude is a massive part of understanding the human experience and adversity. How much do we have to be grateful for during this time? Many people are able to now connect with their families. They're able to speak to each other for the first time or not. They're able to work out things, and they are now fully responsible and accountable for their performance or their lack thereof, for the way they interact, the way they develop, the way they speak up, how they are proactive and demand information to make themselves more accessible. Now leaders will stand out for their actions and their ability to connect on a deeper emotional level, not on their ability to throw out instructions. Now, as a leader, you are able, in your own home, to see where you were lacking in terms of connecting with your own people. You see, a lot of people look at adversity and they say, well, I was hurt before, and I know that I'm going to be hurting again. I know that all of this debt is going to destroy me. And then the words that they use actually demands what they will receive in their lives. Now, a lot of people look at the situation and they say, this is going to destroy my business, it's going to destroy my relationship, it's going to destroy. Okay, if you're using words like that, understand this. There is something which is like a pencil. It's called a reticular activating system. If you Google it, it's RAS. Now, the reticular activating system is a pencil. It's the size of a pencil. In the back of your head, it is a part of your brain that links your spinal cord to your brain, and it actually regulates the sensory systems to your conscious mind. Now, what that means to you in simple terms is that everything that it filters out all of the unimportant stuff, and then it allows you to actually bring in everything that is important. So if you've got the conscious and subconscious mindset, in between is the reticular activating system. Now, what you say in your conscious world actually gets stored in your unconscious mind. The reticular activating system actually removes the unimportant stuff and makes way for the important stuff. So if you say that I cannot achieve something, you said it. It goes into your unconscious mindset and your belief system, and somehow along the line, it starts to come out in your behavior, your thoughts, your actions, your words, in the way you interact with people. Now, here's the thing, is that when we look at the reticular activating system, it's the gatekeeper of information, as simple as that. Now, that gatekeeper can make or break your thinking, your mindset, and challenge your abundance mindset and your belief system. Now, when we look at how hurt programs our thinking, it means that at some point, all of this stuff, all of these experiences get stored in our subconscious mindsets. If you think about it, if you decided that you wanted a yellow BMW, for some reason you thought it was unusual, you'll suddenly start to see them all over the place. The simplicity of it is this, is that once you have changed your thinking or adjusted it, and you become more conscious of it, your reticular activating system now makes it, it's important because I'm thinking more about it. So when you think about it, compassion and being kind on the path of acceptance means that now I come to something really important, and that is the 3 E's. Now, what is brilliant about the 3 E's, the simplicity of it is this. I believe that these are the 3 steps that can help us to overcome adversity in our thinking. I'll talk more about our conscious, subconscious mindset and our reticular activating system a little later, and show you how it actually relates to us in the conditioning of our thinking. But it brings me to the 3 E's, where it is embrace, evaluate, and evolve. Now, embrace means embrace your past, evaluate your current or your present situation in order for you to evolve into your future. So embracing your past, exactly what I was talking about just now, our past, hurts, our thoughts, everything that we feel defines us, is something that we need to embrace in terms of the lessons that came from it. Evaluating means right now in my presence, in my present moment, what do I need to do to change, adjust, learn, create? What have I learned that I need to unlearn and now relearn in terms of life and lifestyle, where I'm heading? What do I need to embrace in terms of technology? Who do I need to be with? Who is in my core team that I need to encourage more and bring out the best in them in terms of their strengths that I never thought was valuable before? What do I need to do? Embrace all of that. And then evaluating where I'm at right now in terms of my development allows me to then evolve into the future I deserve. So when you think about money and mindset, how are you going to have an abundance mentality and a successful life if your thinking is stagnating? Which means that we need to go to the next part, which is very simple. Progress equals happiness. So what does it mean to you? Continuous improvement versus progress. Now, I heard this sentence the other day. Continuous improvement versus progress. Now, I know a lot of people who love self-development. They thrive on it. For years, I've watched them for 20, 30 years. They have gone to self-development programs. They devour leadership books, self-development books, anything that helps them to grow. But then look at the reality of their lives. Two different areas. They are like chalk and cheese. And I can't even say that it's like yin and yang because there's no balance there. So when you think about it, self-development, so continuous development versus progress. I can continuously develop from now till the cows come home. I can go and read books, I can watch TED Talks, and I can do everything, and I can regurgitate word for word different quotes and sayings, and I can look clever in that way. But the reality of my development will be seen in my progress as a human being, in the way I interact with people, in the way I make them feel. It will be seen in my actions and my behavior. It'll be seen in the results of what I get. So when I think about it, change is automatic, but progress is not. So your body will change regardless. The body you had from when you were 5 years old to a teenager, 16, 17 years old, to when you were 21 and then 30 and now in your 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s, it is guaranteed that like the weather, it will change regardless of whether we want it to or not. Our bodies will change regardless. And no matter how much we exercise and we keep our bodies toned and trimmed, healthy and fit, our bodies will change internally and externally in different ways. We cannot stop it. We will grow older. Our hair will change color. We will get wrinkles. That is part of life. And this is the thing about progress. Now, one of the things is if change is automatic, just like the weather, you can't, it's going to happen regardless of whether you want to or not. It means that change cannot be controlled by you, but progress can. Progress can. Now, a lot of people will stop and say, well, anybody can change. Yes, they can. You can change your attitude. You can change your belief systems. You can change everything. But how you progress with that, totally different ball game. What are you going to do with that change? How are you going to impact people? Do you use that change to influence people? I hear people saying all the time, be the change you want to see in the world. Okay. So then what are you doing to adjust your behavior, the thoughtfulness of your words, and the way you interact and connect with people on a thoughtful, compassionate way? Are you kind and gentle with your words every single day? Do you choose to empower other people? I mean, every single thing is choice, and that's progress. It's when you realize that one of the greatest gifts on this earth is to serve and be of service to people. You find that there is a different humility that embraces you, or that you embrace. But I like that it embraces you. Humility is something that it's a feeling that you cannot explain to people. And it's not something that you just automatically have. A lot of people develop it. Humility is something that we've got to continuously overcome, because we're all born with ego and humility. But in our quest for acknowledgement, we find that we're always seeking a thank you or gratitude, or that person didn't acknowledge me, they didn't give me the credit for what I did. And see, subconsciously, we're always looking for that. So that's our ego talking. So humility is something really amazing and incredible to embrace into our lives, or allow it to embrace us. Now, when we look at emotional connection is the key. Now, what do we mean by that? You know, when you upgrade your skills and you celebrate the small wins, celebrate the small things that you've done and you achieved, that's progress. It means that you've overcome the belief system that you're not good enough, and you start to deal with your self-worth. You take one step back and understand this, that we've all been grown up in an environment where people tell us, you're not good enough. Why didn't you do that? I think that you should have, I think that you could have done better. If you've got a 7 out of 10 in a test, where's the other 3? What is wrong with you? Like, why can't you do things differently? Why can't you listen better? What is missing in your life? And you know, when we start to program people with those negative self-beliefs, and then we want them to progress, progression will be directly related to our belief systems and how we feel about ourselves. So in order to progress, we've got to start to celebrate the small wins and not feel guilty about it. We need to look at the accomplishments of what we have done and what we've achieved and realize that we're worth it, and stop feeling so guilty about everything all the time. And I think that there's 3 areas that would really make a difference. And that is restraint, influence, and impact. Give me 1 second. The joys of sitting outside. So restraint, influence, and impact. What does that have to do with progress? Restraint has got everything to do with it. It means it stops you from berating and belittling yourself. Restraint means that you prevent yourself from reacting and you choose to respond. Restraint means that when you're in any environment or situation, instead of jumping the gun and starting to think and overthink and overanalyze, you actually stop long enough to embrace the lesson, think carefully, is that what the person meant? Is this what the situation demands? Is this what I truly deserve? That is where restraint plays a vital role, even in your communication and with the people you're interacting with. It makes a massive difference to restrain yourself. It is so easy to just say something. And when we talk about progress, we're always talking about how did you manage to complete your, what is the progress in terms of your project? We think about things, tangible things in terms of progress. Did you achieve getting the loan that you wanted? What's your progress in terms of that? In terms of timelines, what is your progress? But most people don't think about progress in terms of their emotional development, their ability to harness the way they speak to people, their communication ability, the emotional connection, their ability to influence people. So restraint allows us to become more influential. You see, people will trust you a lot more if they can trust you with their feelings, with their heart, their mind, their body and soul. And that is a huge thing, actually. It is not something to be taken lightly. When you choose to influence people, you have the ability to impact their lives and to mold their thinking and their belief systems. So humble yourself and understand that it is a privilege to impact people's lives. Honor yourself first before you can make other people feel honored, valued, respected as human beings. So that allows me to go to the point number 3, which was impact. I said restraint, influence, and impact. And this allows you to impact their lives. So when you restrain your words and you take a step back in the way you speak and your actions and you realign the way you are interacting with people, you will influence them to be able to adjust something in their behavior, in their lives, their lifestyles. You are a role model that they can look up to. And that is how you impact them. That is the simplicity of it. So very, very important And I think that, who are you? What defines you? That is the biggest question a lot of people will ask themselves. Now, I was talking to somebody and they asked me about purpose and living a purposeful life. And I felt that the importance of that was, purpose is something that you feel and you embody. It is something that is so unique in terms of your human experience that it cannot be defined during a training course. Nobody can give it to you. So when you ask the important question, or somebody asks you, who are you? Don't we normally, as human beings, go to, I'm a trainer, I'm a facilitator, I'm a speaker, I'm South African, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm Italian, I am French, I'm American. No, who are you? No, I'm of Indian descent. No, who are you? And that question scares more people than ever imagined. You see, when somebody asks you, who are you? They're asking you to actually celebrate the reality of who you are in their presence. Now, doesn't that sound different and intriguing as a concept? They're asking you to celebrate who you are in their presence when they ask who you are. So the things, our experiences, the way we grew up, our language, our religion, our culture, our traditions, those were taught to us. But who are you really? What defines you? And then defining what you deserve is exactly what we will attract to ourselves. So how do you know what you deserve if you don't know who you are? How will you know? Because I thought about it, self-mastery. Everybody talks about self-mastery, and I was thinking, what do they mean about it? I mean, what is self-mastery? And the thing that came to mind was, it's trusting myself. Self-mastery means trusting myself. I mean, that's what it meant to me. How do I trust myself? In what way? And I had to think about that before I could actually speak to you. And for me, I felt that it was about embracing my truth. The reality of who I am will be based on the fact that I trust my intuitive side, that I choose me first, not in a selfish way. I choose to develop me first before I can develop somebody else. And it's about growth. And I feel that when somebody asks you who you are, without your titles, your experiences, your accomplishments, your job description, how do you feel about yourself? Are you that ray of sunshine that walks into a room and lights up somebody's life? Is it the thoughtfulness of your words that helps you to guide and inspire people? Is it your tone? Is it the brilliance? Is it your joy? Is it your heart? Is it your actions? Is it in the things that you do? Is it the thoughtfulness of the way you connect with people over a phone call or WhatsApp, sending them a joyful message, a motivational message? Is it just stopping by long enough next to a stranger, saying good morning in their own language, taking the time to embrace the human being? Is that what makes you special? I mean, think about it. That's the simplicity of who you are. You are the person who touches the lives of every single person you interact with. And that is the simplicity of who you are, if you choose to embrace who you are. So what makes you special? Think about it. Seriously, think about it. What is so profoundly beautiful and incredible about you as a human being that you can share with other people, that entices them in their happiness and the brilliance of who they are to shine too? So get a journal and write down what what you do. And I'm not talking about what you do in terms of business, in terms of I'm a family man, I'm a business owner, I'm a mother, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter. No, you already are all of those. When I'm saying write down what you do, what you are, what you contribute to others, I'm talking about, are you a brilliant listener? Are you a communicator? Are you a poet? Are you somebody who is a lover of the arts? Are you artistic? Do you draw? Do you contribute to life meaningfully in the way you emotionally connect with people? Who are you? Are you an event organizer, the person that makes other people's dreams come true, the reality of who they are, and you add value to people? Do you serve people? In what way do you serve people? Think about it. So when you're writing about who you are, what you do, and in that way, I'm not talking about your title and accomplishments. I'm talking about the reality of who you are. Because I can stop long enough and say that I contribute meaningfully to people's lives and uplift them, influence and impact them through the thoughtfulness of the words that flows through me into their lives. I look to build and inspire, grow and empower, encourage and stretch people. I look to define their lives by the very, very, very definition of pushing them. I push them. I push them to see what they deserve and to remove all of the belief systems that have held them back before. I push people to the point where they realize that there's so much more to life than the things that we're seeing right now. There's crisis, yes, but we've had crises before and everybody's come through it. You are resilient. That's who you are. You're resilient. You're beautiful. You're amazing. How many times have you ever used words like that on yourself? When somebody asks, who are you? Who are you? And when I think about it, the simplicity of it, that is to entice compassion by using compassionate words. It is to entice kindness by being kind. It is about embracing love and showing people how to love, because I believe that is the most powerful, most beautiful thing on this earth. Now, many of you are asking at some point, what has this got to do with money and mindset? Well, there are many books that can teach you the business side of it, of how to create maybe successful businesses, how to create your online business, how to start a business, what to do in terms of your business plan and all of the different things, which is the technical aspects of running a business. But you see, your mentality and your mindset is the key that will make you successful beyond anything in terms of an abundance mentality. You need to first believe in yourself before you can believe in others. And that is why I asked, who are you? What do you bring to the table? When you are sitting with people and you're the CEO of over 1,000 people, who you are is what will be seen right now during tough times, and that is your character. So who are you really? Look at what your character is. That is what people fall in love with. Don't you always hear the saying that people fall in love or they buy into the person before they buy into the business concept or your service or your product? So if you pitch up and you're this amazing salesperson, technically, they're buying you a product, but what will take you to the next level is that people buy into your integrity as a human being, the value that you bring to them, and your ability to serve above others, and humility over ego, and gratitude over expectation. Which takes me to my next part of my talk, and that is, what has conditioned your thinking? What has conditioned your thinking? Now, that is, a lot of people will say, how should I know that? How will I know? Well, that's easy. When did we accept the limitations in our lives? When did you accept that it's okay to sit with a vehicle that is broken? When did you accept that it's okay to sit in a home where there's a cupboard falling down, where there is a minus in your bank account, where there are children who don't listen to you, there's no respect in the relationship, where there's abuse in different ways, where people take advantage of you, when did you accept limitations in your life? And that is why I'm asking, what conditioned your thinking? Now hold that thought. What is the story you have identified with and kept as your excuse? You see, a lot of people will use, it's not me, it's them. It's my circumstances. It's my past. It is the things that happened to me. It's the traumas. You don't understand my life. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know what people did to me. You don't understand the abuse that I had. You don't know what he did to me, what she did to me. You don't even know what he said or she said to me. My mother did this to me. My father did this to me. My siblings did this to me. You don't understand. Wait, hold on 1 second. I don't need to understand it. You need to understand. At what point did you allow that to limit your ability to have a success mentality, an abundance mentality, an amazing life, a stunning relationship, an incredible relationship with your children? Because if you think about it, at what point did you start to use it as an excuse? You see, those are not reasons, those are excuses. I know many people who've been through abuse. Well, I was one of them. I can recall every type of abuse anybody could have, but it has never been the defining moments of what I could achieve in my life. I embrace those as lessons of my past, of how to become more forgiving, more thoughtful, how to communicate more effectively, and how to embrace a life of brilliance. It allowed me to create more empathy and compassion for other people. So I embraced all of those lessons. And think about it. Seriously, think about it. What's holding you back? You see, nothing can stop you from creating the lifestyle you deserve except you. Now, before this, when you did not have time, and you said, one day I want to do this. One day I want to write a book. One day I want to write a poem. One day when I have time, I'm going to exercise. When I have time, I'm going to go and fix the cupboard. I'm going to fix the car. I'm going to fix my relationship. One day when I have time. Okay, so now you have time. Which means that anything before this was merely as an excuse. Now you have got no excuses. You are fully accountable and responsible for the results you get. Which means that when you think about it, results are always visible based on your actions. So my actions and what I'm doing today and every other day and the success that I will have is based on all the foundational things I have been doing on a daily basis to build myself up. So stagnation and lack of progress is then directly related to you and what you've been doing or not doing. So there's nobody else to blame. So when you think about it now, self-worth, self-esteem, and your self-talk, all of these things are, they play a major part in terms of who you are as a human being. Your self-esteem and your self-confidence is based on what words you allowed into your life to seep into your belief systems, into your thoughts, into how you interact with people. So if somebody said to you, you were not good enough when you were younger, you'll never amount to anything. Why are you allowing it right now as an adult to temper what you receive in your life? Why are you allowing other people's words? And listen carefully, why are you allowing? You see, because I believe that life is all about choices. We can choose to wallow in self-pity, or we can choose to create a success mentality where we realize we deserve more than what our circumstances were before. They don't define us. Our character and our behavior and our actions do. So when we think about it, the people before in our lives programmed us. The reticular activating system helps you to take full charge and remove all of that. Go and study mind power. understand that those are all now stuck in your unconscious belief systems, your programming, your prejudices, your lack of success and abundance mentality, your belief that you don't deserve a good relationship. All of that mindset is adjustable. It's adaptable. It's removable. You are teachable. All of this can be realigned. It's realignable. So when people are talking about hit the reset button, well, go reset yourself. That's it. If you're so worried about resetting of the new norms and what's going to be the new normal, okay, so what's going to be your new normal for yourself? What is your new normal? Is your new normal that you're worth it? That money flows into your life easily? That you are accepting abundance without guilt? What are you reprogramming your mind and your belief systems to be? So when I look at it, okay, mind power and how it contributes to our results based on our behavior and actions makes a massive difference. Mindfulness is another key thing that allows us to stop long enough to observe our thoughts, contemplate it, and then move forward. When you sit down with a book and you write down all of the belief systems you've had all of your life, religious beliefs, the way people spoke to you, beliefs, all of the things that people said you were not good enough or you did not deserve, think about it. Write it down. Observe it. Become mindful of how it has been streaming through your life. Go and write down a positive opposite of it. So something positive. If that was a negative belief system, go and write something positive, realign it, and then burn it. Go and burn it. Remove it from your life. The physical act of burning means that you no longer accept it into your life. And so I think when I think about it, there's something really beautiful I actually want to share with you while you're listening to the Harvey does. Observe what your belief systems are and remove it because you've got choice. But here's more than that. How do you raise your standards? That was my next part of my topic. How do you raise your standards? Well, I think that the best way to describe that is asking you the question, what do you expect from yourself? So if I'm going to raise my standards, I need to ask myself, what do I expect from myself? And is it just sitting here and waiting to see what happens? Is it waiting for somebody else to come up with solutions? Is it I'm looking to leaders to create the way forward? Is it me waiting for somebody else to be innovative in their thinking? Is it me waiting for somebody else to create a game plan? No. Nobody else can create a game plan for your own life. So what do you expect from yourself? That is how you raise your standards. So if you believe that you're the doormat to everybody, you allow people to use and abuse you, and then you complain that nobody acknowledges you, you do everything, you are everything to everybody. Here's the simplest way that I could explain that to you. The difference between selfless and selfish. This is the brilliance about that. And I thought about this a long time ago, and somebody asked me, isn't it selfish that people just keep taking and taking, and they don't ever acknowledge me? And I thought, ooh, that's an interesting one. Let me tackle it. So I thought about it, and I thought, okay, the best way to describe this, selfless is somebody who keeps giving to others. Have you ever thought about this? What a martyr is? A martyr is somebody who is acknowledged after they die. Now, how many of you are dying slowly right now? How many of you are physically and emotionally dying on the inside? You're emotionally dying because nobody's ever acknowledged you in your life. People don't see you for who you are and the reality of who you are. And that is why I kept asking you, who are you? What defines you? And that's a choice. It is a choice to allow people to take advantage of you. So selfless is somebody who keeps giving to others. Selfish is somebody who keeps taking and taking and taking. So now here's the shocking part. Did you know that being selfless is selfish as well? You see, being selfless and continuously sacrificing everything of who you are and continuously giving, and you never ever give to yourself, is absolutely selfish. You keep depleting your heart, your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit. You keep giving to everybody and allowing them to take from you, and that is selfish because you're allowing them to slowly destroy your spirit until your soul is begging for more. So if you think about it, if you're constantly in that thinking that you're not good enough and why do I deserve, and I mean, I don't need to apply for that job because I might not get it. Somebody else needs it. I don't deserve R1 million in my account because, I mean, it's inconceivable. I never heard of it, never thought of it. Now think about that. What you're doing is you think that you're the self-sacrificial lamb, but what you're doing is you are destroying yourself. And that is selfish. So how do you change that? This is why money and mindset is one and the same things. That is the yin-yang. That is the collaboration. That is the combination that you need. Change your mindset and you will allow the thinking that flows into you, that attracts the right people towards you. You start to find that you become creative. You find that you're inspiring yourself with different ways of thinking, that you think out the box. You suddenly have got an exciting way of thinking. And then you take a step back and you realize that you've always been in charge. You've always been responsible for your own success or your own demise. So when I think about it, the power of affirmations is the vital key to helping you to move to the next level. Now, a lot of people say affirmations, why? I mean, that is so ridiculous and so simple. Yes, that is the simplicity of it. Affirmations are the key to activating your reticular activating system. If you can affirm and be strong in your belief of what you deserve and what you can have, then you think about it. The simplicity of it is you're realigning your subconscious mind and your belief systems so that you can attract into your conscious life the things that will allow you to grow, the people to stimulate you, the programs that develop you. You become more decisive, you're more concise, you have clarity, you understand exactly what you want from your life, which means that it allows you to remove the people from your life that don't serve you. The people that are always constantly negative, people who are always demanding from you, you stop allowing that and you create the boundaries that allows your growth. You see, when I say choose you, when you define who you are, when you have an unstoppable attitude, when you realize that you're worth it, then that creates the mindset that puts you on a very different level. It is a path of self-discovery that allows you to embrace experiences that pushes you and stimulates your thinking. Which means that when we think about it, what positive sentences resonate with you? And why? When you think about affirmations, you're talking about it in the now. I have the most exquisite relationship, one filled with love, thoughtfulness, caring, patience, forgiveness, joy, humility. There is sharing, there is caring. I am in a beautiful, nurturing, gorgeous, loving relationship. Now think about the difference of I am in compared to I would like. One is wishful thinking. When we start with I am a money magnet. I am incredibly blessed, healthy, wealthy, and filled with abundance in terms of life and joy and relationships people I interact with. Now, there's a total difference. When you're saying I am, your RAS immediately realigns your unconscious behavior and thoughts. And consciously, you start to have this amazing energy resonate through you. And you start to attract the people that you really, truly deserve. So yes, money can be attracted to you. That is an abundance mindset. Easily done, if you've got the right mindset. Now, one of the things that I learned about from Mind Power is you need to visualize exactly what you want as if you have it. So when you're doing vision boards and you're doing things that allows you to create a future for yourself, think of it in terms of lifestyle. It doesn't have to be practical. It can be exciting and incredible. It can be anything you want. But you visualize it as if you already have it. And when you think about it, you are manifesting everything that you deserve. And so I feel that it would be important or imperative to actually share with you some of the characteristics of compassion in your life, abundance, having an incredible mindset for the health, wealth, and prosperity that you so richly deserve. And I'm going to read to you from what I've written about compassion. A compassionate person does not react to the negative ways in which people treat them. And I feel that this is very relevant to the 6 areas I was talking to you about earlier. So to recap, have an unstoppable attitude. Adversity is part of our human experience, but don't look at what you've lost. Look at the lesson. Progress is more important than just continuous improvement, which means that your words and your actions need to match. And if you are developing yourself and self-development is a powerful part of your life, use it, embody it, and show it. So let it be seen in your actions and your behavior that you are progressing in what you are becoming and achieving. Who are you? Look at what defines you. What are your characteristics? How do you add value? How do you serve other people? What has conditioned your thinking? Think about what has conditioned your thinking that's preventing you from growing, from progressing, redefining who you are and your belief in yourself. And then raise your standards. Raise your standards by understanding what you expect from you before you raise your standards for everybody else. You see, people will treat you exactly as you allow them to treat yourself. So think about that very carefully. You see, I believe very simply, when we talk about respect, I believe that the biggest gift we can give to ourselves is simply this. Give yourself full permission to not like every single person you interact with. However, your ability to show respect and be respectful is a direct reflection on your character as a human being. Which means that as you go through life, there will be people you interact with that you may or may not like. But you see, respect is a very personal thing. And if you can respect yourself and your values are so high and your principles are so defined, your self-respect is so huge, it will allow you to respect people differently with boundaries. So I want to end this off by just reading a small excerpt from something that I wrote about compassion. A compassionate person does not react to the negative ways in which people treat them. They choose to see the lesson and embrace the moment without reacting. They think carefully about why the person behaved in a certain way, and then they choose to respond in a positive way. Compassionate people influence others through their thoughtful words and acts of kindness. They're also very generous with their time. They uplift, guide, and support those around them to achieve the best in every aspect of their lives. Being compassionate allows them to connect easily and respectfully with any person, regardless of their age, gender, culture, religion, language, or ethnicity. They do not judge people. They accept that each individual adds value to them and welcomes their insights. And some of the things you can do to embrace all of these things that I was talking about today, here's the simplicity of it. Make time for others. Time is a valuable commodity and means a lot to someone when you say you will make time for them. This makes them feel seen and valued as a person. Connect on a daily basis with people by taking the time to greet them in their own language, even adjusting your body language to suit their culture. This makes people immediately feel included, as this is very thoughtful and shows respect. Choose to guide and support others by making yourself approachable. A compassionate person of influence always makes people feel comfortable enough to approach them. This creates a safe environment for people to ask for help or guidance without feeling shy or vulnerable. Be authentic. Let people see that emotions are a very real part of being human. It is okay to sometimes feel angry, sad, disillusioned, or despondent. But by embracing a compassionate life and lifestyle, you set the standard for others to see you as a role model who always rises above the negative moments. Let integrity and honesty flow through your words, actions, behavior, and deeds in your daily life. Intentionally choose thoughtful words and actions to show people that you truly care about them. And so from my side, I want to say thank you for being a part of embracing your life, choosing to change your life, and for you moving on to the next levels of a lifestyle that you truly deserve. And I wish you all of the best. And I hope that wherever you are in the world, you understand and realize the depth and the reality and the brilliance and the beauty of who you are as a human being. And that you're honored and that you're worth it and that you deserve so much more. And that you deserve the best. And I would like to finish off with a very simple saying that has determined a lot of what I have in my life. Eleanor Roosevelt so succinctly said, "Nobody can make you feel inferior without your consent." That means don't let your circumstances and your past define what you can have in this life, in this lifetime. Realign your mindset, your beliefs, your thoughts. Listen carefully to what you are talking to yourself about. Your self-talk is massive. Change and adjust that. Become aware of the way you're talking to yourself. And know that you can do something differently to make the best out of your life. So from my side, I hope there've been some insights and I've helped to maybe add value to your life, and I look forward to serving you and being of service to you. And I wish you the most incredible life going forward. You, your family, your loved ones, and the people that you really care about. Lots of love from me to you. And thank you, Paul Harvey, for allowing me to be a part of this platform. You're truly an incredible, amazing, gifted person, and I'm absolutely grateful for this opportunity. Thank you.
And that was Arthie Moore. I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did, because I think you can see what she delivers, and you can see why she is so sought after across various platforms. So yes, thank you for the recognition, Arthie. It's much appreciated, and I have to say the same back at you. So that is the wrap-up session for today. There is going to be a follow-up session where I'm going to wrap up the entire day for us. That's going to start at 8:30. So I look forward to seeing you then. All the best.